Donald Trump is officially losing control, not just of his party, but of his people. Tonight, one of his most loyal voter blocs, Cuban Americans, just turned on him, sending shockwaves through MAGA world. For years, Trump called him his firewall in Florida, but after years of betrayal, even his strongest supporters have had enough. And if this rebellion keeps growing, it could mark the beginning of Trump's downfall from inside his own base. Trump has spent his entire presidency dividing America, rewarding loyalty, punishing dissent, and turning citizens against each other. Even his supporters are now realizing that his definition of leadership is vengeance, not vision. And as Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez once explained perfectly, this is what happens when a leader governs only for himself.
And that's what AOC said. She said, Trump, if he dislikes you and he finds that you didn't vote for him, he will not advocate for you. He will not be seen as representing you.
No, I mean, worse yet.
She said, I represent everyone. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you voted for me. You are part of my constituency. I am making your life better. I am not making it worse because of who you are.
This is exactly the point. This is exactly the point. He is nothing but partisan vengeance. And he's taking money away. He says, I'm going to take away from the money away from Democrat programs. Well, what's a Democrat program? I mean, if you're talking about health care
the rebrand
or child care,
yeah.
Or you're talking about anything else, the infrastructure
yeah,
that people
demos,
need.
it's for the people.
Well, you tell me a Democrat program, and I'll tell you that it's not a Democrat program. It's a people's program. There's this notion somehow, and again, it's in Trump, but he's infecting the entire Republican Party with this deep, entrenched, angry partisanship, which is that it's us versus them. You know, the Americans are divided between the good guys and the bad guys. It's very dangerous.
And that danger isn't just theoretical. It's reshaping the entire Republican Party. Even Trump's own allies admit they're terrified of him. The party of Lincoln has become the party of fear.
I want to press you a little bit more about when your Republican colleagues confess to feeling fear. Explain that a little further. Fear of what? Fear of the mob? Fear of violence? Fear of the president? Or is it just fear for their own careers?
Yeah, many of them, it's more about fear for their own careers. Just the idea that, this is a president that with one tweak can end your political career. Get somebody to run against you or just, tank your support. But it grows beyond that. I mean, I've seen how, some of my colleagues, when they take a vote that the president then attacks, I see the hate and the vitriol that they are on the receiving end on. I actually see people following them through the halls of Congress, taunting them, ridiculing them to their face, not to mention what's happening on social media. I had Republican colleagues in the House that told me about how they do fear for their lives or the safety of their families with the threats that they're getting to their homes.
And from their own political base, I want to emphasize that. This isn't some Antifa phantom menace. This is, violence wherever it comes from is 100% wrong. But specifically, these Republicans are telling you they're afraid from the far right for violence against them and their families. Is that right?
That's right. For standing up to the Trump administration in whatever way that they were.
And now, that fear and chaos are starting to backfire. Across Florida, Cuban American voters who once saw Trump as their champion are realizing that his so-called America First policies actually left their families last. Trump's second-term restrictions on Cuba have devastated families, blocking travel, halting visa reunifications, and cutting off humanitarian channels that kept loved ones connected for decades. And the cruelty isn't strategic, it's personal. The same man who once promised freedom for Cubans is now trapping them in bureaucratic purgatory, all to score points with his base. What used to be loyalty has turned to outrage. Families are protesting, lawyers are suing, and local leaders are openly defying the man they once campaigned for. In places like Miami and Tampa, you can feel the betrayal in the air. People who voted for Trump now asking how the so-called defender of family values became the one tearing their families apart. This isn't an isolated revolt, it's a political awakening. Cuban Americans, once treated as MAGA's crown jewel, have discovered that Trump's loyalty only flows one way. And that's the bigger story here. Donald Trump is losing the one thing he can't afford to lose, his image of control. Because when your own voters start realizing that your policies are hurting them, not the other side, your empire begins to crumble from within. Trump's movement thrives on fear, but tonight it's his supporters who are afraid of losing their rights, their families, and their future, under a man who governs like a king and rules through chaos. The Cuban American revolt is just the beginning. The cracks are spreading, and sooner or later, the whole MAGA machine will collapse under the weight of its own lies. If you believe that America deserves leaders who serve the people, not punish them, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because together we can make sure Donald Trump's cruelty never defines our country again.